This is Meri at the.meri.atelier, and this is Tuesday night, April 2nd, 2019, and I just got finished doing a Journaling by Fives art game with Lisa at My Eclectic Life and Beth Schuler. So I'm going to do a flip through and show you the pages. I did 20 pages. Now, Journaling by Fives is a challenge that was started a few years ago by Shannon Green, and the object of it is to loosen up and just get those blank pages filled up. It's to inspire you to get creative when you just don't think that you can do any art. So I never have that problem. But my problem is that these steps are timed. And when I first did Journaling by Fives, I didn't like the timed aspect. But I've done so much lately that the timing doesn't bother me. So I am going to do a flip through of my 20 pages first, so you can see everything I did. And then if you are interested, you can keep watching the video. I'll go into a fast forward session that shows all my steps, but it'll be very fast forward. So I hope that you enjoy watching this. And yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. So I will see you on the next page. This was a challenge for me. Look at my hands. You should see the floor behind me. It's horrible. But you know, I didn't do too bad for timed. I do not do good with timed art, but I kept up this time. But I will say, when I first did Journaling by Fives, I didn't like the timed aspect. But since I've been doing a lot of art, and I've been doing the Dirty Dozens with Aunt Beck on great big huge 18 by 24 paper, I've had a lot of experience in working fast. So this was just fun to do. I will say that I agreed with Lisa that doing the final step 4 with the pen work was probably the most challenging. I was working on the last page, just doing the last 2 marks here when she called time. And of course, I'll need to go back in and glue things down and better and position things. I did find that it was very easy to have these things on my wax paper book, and I find that using the double-sided low-tack tape works the best. I'm not going to use any more of that rubber cement. The rubber cement does tend to, after a while, stick. And I did have a little trouble pulling those off. But I'm going to go back in and fix all those too. But look, I had all my words there, and I just had to pull my words and pull my images. So I'm going to do a flip of it. I'm going to pull off some of these images here right away because I want to show you the background pages. I think you probably saw them when I was working, but look how pretty. Look how pretty they turned out. I'm really liking how they turned out. Very floral. That was not intended. I was debating whether to, when I put my images on, to do it like a double-sided and have a fold in the front. But I decided to go ahead and do full page ones. And then I was thinking, well, if they did this next week, I could work on the back. Now I need my glue stick to put these back on again. I thought I could go back in and do the ones on the back next week. But if they only do 7, I'll be so far behind that, you know. So I think I'll just make a little, I think I'll do a cinch binding and make a little book, and then I can journal on the back, or I can do the other art on the back. Is this something I would do on a regular basis? Probably not. I might do these steps on a regular basis. I like the backgrounds a lot. I'm not sure I like the images. For this step, for these purposes, it's fine. But this is not my style of art journaling. unless I'm glue booking. So this, I understand the exercise. It's really fun. But I do like glue booking, and I could glue book out of these. But I tend to want to think more about it, and it frustrates me that everybody thinks that thinking about your art is a bad thing. I don't think thinking about your art is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. So if you tend to dawdle, and I say dawdle, when you tend to be slow about your art and move things there, don't get frustrated with yourself. You don't have to work fast just because everybody else thinks that it's a good thing to do. But on the other hand, if you do work fast and it turns out great for you, all the more power to you if that's what you like doing. But it frustrates me that people downplay thinking about their things. Overthinking, yeah, maybe overthinking. You can overthink stuff, but don't think that thinking about your art is a bad thing. But that said, I do like what happened here. I love all my pages. This one says, infuse well-being into every day. And then I have some bird stamps here. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And then I'm pointing to the arrow and scene one. I love these backgrounds. I like the backgrounds as they were happening. The stencil and the stamp really added to it. I would have liked to have a little bit more time with the borders. I would have played with them a little bit more. This gal got upside down. She needs to be put back in better. Shirley Temple, since I was a kid. Leftovers, and I got a picture of the New York Journal. Naval officer thinks the Marine was destroyed by a Spanish mine, something or other there. Talking about World War II. I pulled it because it was an old newspaper. Old is new. See, and even then, I pulled my words, and then I thought about this. I just didn't go willy-nilly. I pulled my words. To kind of go with the background. Old is new. This reminds me of old wallpaper. And here, I tried to pull vintage art pieces. But then I got fun pieces, too. Get outside the box. I got a kangaroo here hopping outside the box. So that was kind of fun. Feel more positive every day. And then this is like a Valentine image. This is very romantic. Very shabby chic pages happening for me. Make this the summer of flavor. And there's a pretty blue butterfly. I wish I would have had more time. I know what I was trying to do there, but I was going too fast. I was trying to do little V's for like the knit stitch. So the timed art, I'm not too positive on timed art. 15 minutes is adequate, though, if you're doing this. But I will say you're more successful if you've done a lot of art and you know the steps to take. Like I found it was when I was doing my stenciling, I stacked up all my papers. If you watch my stenciling process, I stacked up all my papers like this. And then I stenciled and flipped and stenciled and flipped. I didn't, pull paper, put it here, stencil, put it there. I stenciled and flipped. And that seemed to work good for me. I have to glue down these images better. But at least I got them there. Be inventive with shoes. My little curly cues. I should put little shoe prints here. That's almost what they look like on the border here. You can't see them very well, but be inventive. Phenomena. I kind of like this page because I got to say it with flowers. This was an FTD old flower advertisement. I like this page a lot. Cool and collected. I like this page. I think this just happened. Create unique gifts. And I chose these stamps kind of because of the color, but then I'm looking at it and it says gifts of friendship. So, and create unique gifts. And then there's a boy and a girl here. It kind of just happened. I didn't really plan that. Those just popped together by the color. I would rather buy something for my home that is old and has character. And then I've got an old plate. And then I just chose her because, well, it looks like she has character. I wouldn't say she looks so old. This, I tore this in half. I had a little bit of trouble because there was tape on the back. But I like these old spoons. And it says, I love things that look vintage, and I like crystal and silver and gold. And then I've got these teaspoons and everything on here. And I'll go back in and glue these down better. This one is kind of fun. This is an old Superman toy, and it says, gotcha. Gotcha. I like this one a lot. It doesn't really go with the background. It doesn't really go with the background, but I'm kind of really liking it. This one happened. Let's see. What do I have here? It looks like, oh yeah. This one I'm going to have to trim the background up a little bit more. But I first put her down, and then I found this. I'm going, well, that's pretty. And I'm going, that looks pretty. And I'm going to take this, I think, and move it down a little. I glued this down. This is why I don't like using a glue stick when I'm doing this. I'd rather use maybe that low-tack tape, but I should have had a bunch out because I want to move this down now. See, I want to play with it a little bit more. And maybe you're not supposed to, but I do because if, well, you know, it's my journaling by fives now. Isn't that too cool? See, I'll have to trim this picture. It's got something in the background here, but I'm loving this. I think that's a postage stamp or something in there. USA Forever stamp. It says USA Forever. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm loving that. That just happened. And I'll probably move her so that she doesn't, that flower is not in the way. I'm liking this page a lot. Too cool. Too cool. This one says gone fishing. I had to put an image there, so I grabbed one off of the other page. I guess this lady went fishing. This is kind of funny. This one is Remnants of the Past. Another pretty lady. This is why you should do a lot of fussy cutting. And this number 5. I've been saving this number 5 forever. This was an old Discover ad. I brought it home with me from Wisconsin, and I finally found a use for it. And then on the back, I guess the back wording here is, so you want to share. So good you want to share. Number 5, I guess. Yeah, I'll probably want to move that if I can. I'll probably cut this whole thing off and move it because I don't like it there. So we'll leave it like that. So I'm going to finish these. I'll probably finish them maybe tomorrow morning if I get up and do an impromptu. I don't know. I'm kind of tired. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Very fun. Very fun to do this. Like I said, journaling by fives isn't anything that I would do on a regular basis, but I do like to play along. I love the challenges. So, yeah. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, Beth. I probably will play if you do it again, but I wouldn't do it on my own. I have a lot of other things I need to do. Look at my hands. Look at my hands. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page. Okay, the first segment we are doing painting, and as you can see, I am using my brayer to paint with, and I'm just putting that paint on there as fast as I can, and I'm using the brayer, and sometimes, well, I just smash the paint down on there, and sometimes I take the paper and smash it down on the paint. Then I use a credit card and do this blue over a second layer. I'm surprised I have enough time. I'm getting through all 20 sheets. There we go. I'm really kind of happy with it. I did get finished in 15 minutes. Now, we have some dry time in between the steps because the pages are wet. And I had wax paper in between them. And when I dried off, I made the mistake of throwing my wax paper away. I wish I would not have done that. I could have used it in the following steps.
which was texture, and texture meaning book text or tissue or anything like that. Now I'm using a tissue, a napkin, and an old pattern, clothing pattern. So this is where I wish I would have had my wax paper, because I am gluing and collaging down over the painted images. I'm just working as fast as I can to get done in 15 minutes. That's how, you see how fast I'm working? That's how it feels like you're working when you're doing a JB5. You literally, when you do 20 pages, you don't have much time to think about it. And the object is to just tack it down there and then later go back down and glue everything down. I clean up my mess and I get done in the 15 minutes, and we do have some dry time. And my pages are kind of sticking together, but I'm drying them off the best I can while Lisa and Beth are talking. They do a lot of talking, so I do have time in between to kind of straighten things up. And then we go back and tack down the rest of the pieces, the loose ends. I think Lisa gave us a little extra time to do that for the following steps. I'll still have to tack more things down, but there we go. Now, the next step is stamp and stencil. And I just use this yellow and white paint, and I use one stencil, and I just go down through the stack of my pages. And I'll stencil some flowers and pull out the page and the bottom, next page up, and I just work through my whole stack like that. And I really like how that turned out. Now here I'm just using sort of a grid stamp, a diamond grid stamp, and I'm just stamping this, make a lot of noise. But I found it's easier if I use the ink pen pad and stamp on the ink pad, and rather than take the ink pad and stamp on the stamp. Kind of flipping through things, just going through and getting ready for the next prompt is words and images. I do a couple little fast flip throughs just for my own getting ready for the words here. Now I will say this is where I'm really thankful that I have my words in my little journal word book on wax paper. But here again, I don't think I'll use rubber cement anymore to tack those things down. I'm going to use that low tack tape. Rubber cement kind of dries hard on there. It's a little hard to get them up, but I'll fix that in the end. And then I go back and put on the images. Yeah, I got a whole book of images too. So that really made it easy, fast, and fun. So the last step was, I do another flip through there. Just kind of getting myself ready for the next step. The last step is pen and pencil, or pencil and paint pen. I'm using my gold Krylon marker to edge everything with. And yeah, that was okay. I think I'll like it better if I just stop and stare at it a little bit, but then I go back in and I'll doodle borders. X's and dots and dashes and lines and squiggles and footprints. I got 20 pages, but you know, I kept up. I kept up with everybody. Okay,